What happens when an entire city falls to an unstoppable zombie apocalypse, and the only force powerful enough to stop the nightmare is a 300-foot titan stepping into the battlefield? Welcome back to Kong Mighty Ruler Asu, where we witness the ultimate battle for survival in a city consumed by darkness. The metropolis once teeming with vibrant life is now a graveyard, as the relentless undead horde devours everything in its path.
Keep firing!
Last line of defense
Don't let them through! We can't fall back!
Their bullets doing little to stop the overwhelming tide of the war. Even the strongest military machines are reduced to burning scrap metal, proving useless against an enemy that feels no fear or pain. Beneath the city, shaking the foundations of skyscrapers and tossing vehicles like mere children's toys. A colossal force descends from above as a massive hand crushes the undead, signaling the arrival of a new, powerful challenger. King Kong reveals himself through the smoke and fire, standing as a titan among the ruins, ready to reclaim his territory. With a single sweep of his mighty arm, the giant ape clears the streets, sending the rotting bodies flying into destruction. He shows no mercy to the infected horde, crushing the blind spots and flattening vehicles that stand in his way of conquest. The undead swarm attempts to overwhelm him by climbing his massive armor, biting and clawing with their mindless, hunger-driven fury. The mighty ruler shakes his body with tremendous force, sending the parasitic creatures flying through the air like dust in the wind. Improvising a weapon from the city infrastructure, Kong rips a lamppost from the ground and swings it with devastating, lethal precision. Military helicopters arrive on the scene, casting their spotlights on the chaotic battlefield, unsure if the beast is friend or foe. The Titan pauses to acknowledge the flying machines, his intelligent eyes showing that he understands the true enemy is on the ground. Just as the dust settles, a fresh wave of horrors erupts from the underground tunnels, flooding the streets with renewed numbers. Kong charges headfirst into the fray, slamming his fists into the earth to create a shockwave that shatters the asphalt. He identifies the larger threats within the horde, then grabbing mutated creatures and hurling them through the glass facades of abandoned skyscrapers. The military attempts to help with heavy artillery, but their reckless missiles explode too close, testing the patience of the beast. Kong turns his fury toward the tanks, issuing a thunderous roar that warns the soldiers to stay out of his fight. Refocusing on the infected, he tears into them, using the jagged metal as a makeshift shield against the approaching swarm. From his vantage point, the battle seems endless, with the infected stretching as far as the eye can see into the horizon. Utilizing his agility, the primate scales a nearby skyscraper, gaining the high ground to prepare for a devastating aerial assault. Gravity becomes a weapon as he descends from the heavens, landing with an impact that obliterates everything in the immediate vicinity. As the dust clouds choke the air, only the glowing eyes of the Titan remain visible. Bem Atsiska Ririras, burning with an unyielding warrior spirit. From the shadows emerges a horrific mutation, a giant abomination of flesh and bone that dares to challenge the king's dominance. The two titans collide in a brutal display of raw power, their impact shaking the very foundations of the crumbling city. The mutated creature sinks its teeth into the ape's shoulder, drawing blood and eliciting a roar of pain that echoes loudly. Summoning his primal strength, Kong grips the monster's skull and ends the duel with a crushing, definitive blow of victory. He discards the defeated carcass into the crowd, using the body of their fallen leader to crush the smaller, mindless drones. Standing triumphant over his foe, Kong beats his chest in a rhythmic display of dominance that terrifies the remaining horde. Recognizing his power, the human military shifts tactics of providing covering fire to clear a path for their unlikely savior. With the path cleared, the giant ape sprints towards the city center, determined to eradicate the source of the infection. The central tower has become a hive of activity, covered entirely in writhing bodies that threaten to topple the structure. Kong begins his ascent, scaling the metal framework while casually swatting away the clusters of undead that block his route. Attack choppers circle the structure, unleashing a hail of bullets to protect the climbing titan from the pursuing swarm below. Reaching the summit, the king looks down upon his burning kingdom, assessing the devastation with a heavy and vengeful heart. He unleashes a roar so powerful that the sonic waves shatter the glass windows of every surrounding building for miles. The deafening call acts as a challenge, drawing the attention of every single zombie in the city towards his location. With the enemy gathered in one place, Kong takes a leap of faith, diving straight into the heart of the swarm. His impact generates a massive shockwave of kinetic energy, vaporizing the immediate circle of enemies and clearing the battleground. Seizing a fuel tanker, he hurls the volatile vehicle into the densest part of the crowd, turning it into a bomb. A spectacular explosion illuminates the night sky, incinerating thousands of the undead in a cleansing fire of absolute destruction. The giant ape stands amidst the inferno like a god, the flames licking at his fur but leaving him unharmed. For the first time, the mindless horde seems to hesitate, sensing a power that is far beyond their capacity to consume. He presses the advantage, delivering a flurry of bone-crushing blows that decimates the remaining lines of the retreating undead army. Fighter jets scream overhead, a toast, dropping walls of napalm to seal the perimeter and ensure no infected creature can escape the city. A silent understanding passes between the beast and the pilots, a temporary truce forged in the fires of a common war. As the battle rages on, the horizon begins to glow, signaling the arrival of dawn and the promise of a new day. The endless sea of monsters has been reduced to scattered stragglers, their numbers decimated by the relentless fury of the king. With a casual strike, Kong dispatches the final standing threat, bringing an abrupt silence to the battlefield that was once chaotic. Exhausted from the night's brutal exertion, the Titan collapses onto a pile of rubble, his heavy breathing echoing in the silence. Soldiers emerge from their armored vehicles, lowering their weapons as they gaze up at their savior with a mix of awe and gratitude. The giant's eyes soften as he looks down at the fragile humans, recognizing that his fight was to protect their future. With his duty fulfilled, the mighty ruler rises to his feet and turns towards the rising sun, ready to depart. He walks away from the ruins of civilization, seeking the solitude of the wild, leaving the city to rebuild itself. His massive shadow stretches across the broken streets, a lasting reminder of the power that was necessary to save this world. Survivors emerge from the shadows of their shelters, witnessing the departure of the guardian who brought them back from the brink. A child picks up a toy from the ashes, a symbol that legends are real and that heroes come in all sizes. The city stands wounded and scarred, but it is finally free from the plague, giving humanity a second chance at life. At the edge of the concrete jungle, the king pauses to look back, ensuring that his victory is absolute and permanent. A low rumble escapes his chest, a final farewell to the city he defended before he disappears into the wilderness. He vanishes into the mist as quickly as he arrived, returning to the shadows where he will wait until needed again. Peace has returned to the streets, and though the scars remain, the nightmare of the living dead has finally ended. We have witnessed a battle of epic proportions, a clash between nature's guardian and an unnatural plague of death and destruction. From the crushing blows to the fiery explosions, every moment demonstrated the raw power and determination of the mighty Kong. This story reminds us that even in the darkest of times, there is always a power ready to fight for us. Thank you for watching this epic tale on Kong Mighty Ruler Asu. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more adventures.